What's going on, YouTube? JT is Reborn here, and welcome back to another edition of my DC comic book reviews. And in this video, we're going to be talking about Justice League Unlimited, issue number 12. This one is written by Mark Waid with artwork by Dan Mora. This is another DC K.O. tie-in. And, I've already been covering Justice League Unlimited, so, I got a good grip on the title so far. This is a pretty interesting one so far. In fact, this might even be my favorite of the three tie-ins this week. I don't know. It's between this and The Flash. I mean, Superman's pretty solid too, but we got to actually see Darkseid, and this one here is kind of an interesting hook and gets a few emotional beats pretty well too that are quite effective. I don't know. It's kind of a toss-up between the three, but there's some good stuff in each of them, but tough for me to say. I don't know. Maybe I like Superman more. Maybe I like The Flash. Maybe I like this one. I don't know. They're about equal in some ways. Some things the other have over the other. But this is a tie-in right here. So we open up the issue. They're evacuating everyone, which I've talked about in Titans. I've talked about in Superman. And meanwhile, in Gotham City, we have the Atom and Batgirl. Babs is back in her purple batsuit right there. They see a bank robbery going on. It's like, why are you robbing a bank when there's going to be, like, no value with the money? So they go to face off. They see Polka Dot Man, like, this is Polka Dot Man. He's nothing, but he's been extremely powered up, and he takes them out of commission, and they're off the table for right now. So maybe this will mean Babs can't go back into Batgirl mode. This is going to be the reason for her being Oracle going forward or something. Could be the case, but we do learn via Mr. Terrific that the villains have been given the remaining, like, kind of lower tier villains, because a lot of the higher tier ones are already in the I want to say the Tournament of Power, but that's a Dragon Ball Super thing, the DC K.O. tournament. So the lesser known ones are kind of kept behind, and it seems they've been given more powers from Neron in Hell, because if you kind of take advantage of the few civilians left that don't have heroes and all that, you can gain more power via that way. They've been given Safe Haven or something along the lines of that. And so they need to put together a team to stop them. So Mr. Terrific decides to put together, like, Aquaman, Power Girl, Guy Gardner, Warrior, Superman, another Golden Hawk, Tim Drake as Batman Beyond, which I think that was from some other random comic. We have an Alan Scott Green Lantern, we have Dr. Fate, and we have Owlwoman. But these characters are a little bit different because they're known as, like, quantum ghosts, and their time left is very limited. They're time travel stuff hurts my head trying to explain. I feel like that scene in Austin Powers, I think it was The Spy Who Shagged Me, where he's like trying to explain, couldn't I go back? Oh no, I've gone cross-eyed. And then Baz was like, I suggest you don't worry about this sort of thing and just enjoy yourselves. That goes for you all too. And he looks right at the camera. That's me when it comes to time travel shenanigans. I just kind of roll with it because it hurts my head really trying to think about it. But these are quantum ghosts, and let's just say their time frame is very limited. They're inevitably going to die. No matter what happens, they fix everything. These people will cease to exist, but they've been kind of given a chance. Hey, look, we know you have limited time left, so you can try and make it worth something to save some lives. And I thought that was really effective. Like, the emotions kind of hit there. We have a moment between Guy Gardner and that right here. Guy Gardner's got his 90s Captain Planet haircut. Like that era of animation where it was Captain Planet, Spider-Man the animated series. They all had that same haircut for a lot of these characters. Even though, Captain Planet's hair is different there. But you know what I mean, that 90s, like, TV show haircut with that. The best moment here is with Aquaman 2 with, the one arm, the cybernetic arm. He goes to kind of see where his life was at right here and sees the family and all that. He kind of breaks down like, wow, I'm going to lose this. Hawkman and Allman or whatever do their thing. We get the Power Girl right here, and you can see she's got the boob window back. So there you go, fans who've been wanting it. There's that. She gives a message to kind of another version of herself and that, which is a nice little detail right there. And then, of course, they gather the team right there, and they boom tube into Hell. So they're going to go face off against this other thing. This feels a little bit more outside the DC K.O. event stuff, but still connected in a way. But who knows? Maybe it'll, like, leave a bigger impact as the thing goes on, because it is Mark Waid and Dan Mora working on it. But I thought overall it was pretty solid stuff. And I thought the moments where the characters who know they have limited time left go to reflect with versions of themselves, I thought those hit pretty well, like the emotional beats, especially the one with Aquaman, where it's nothing said, it's just all visually conveyed. I think that was the strongest moment of the comic book right there. So, good stuff overall. Love me some Dan Mora artwork. Can't really go wrong with that. And even though, like, this is one I don't feel like you really need to read in terms of the DC K.O. stuff, because it feels very distant from it in a way, but it still is effective. So there's still good stuff in here. But yeah, All right, well, like I said, I think I've kind of said all I needed to say when it comes to this particular comic. There's some good stuff in there. Be sure to check it out, and let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. So that'll be it in terms of the DC K.O. tie-ins. Now I got 2 more DC books to talk about, so I'm going to get to those now. I didn't get time to get them yesterday, but when you have like 5 or 6 books dropping at once, you're like, okay, let's go ahead and talk about all this shit now, and then we'll move on to the next stuff. But yeah, overall, good stuff. But anyways, thanks so much for watching. As always, take care now. Bye-bye then, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace out.